Welcome to Mobile Must Have. My name's Andy, and in today's video, we're going to be reviewing the Pepwave Balance 20X. Now, in this video, we're going to go over what the Balance 20 is, pros and cons, a quick review of it. So that way, if you have purchased this unit, you will see how to set it up and link it to any antennas or anything else. I will put chapter markers below in the timeline here, so feel free to kind of click around and find the right spot for you based on what you're looking for. All right, well, let's get this thing unboxed and we'll get started. All right, and here is the Balance 20X unit. It is a really good size. It's actually not that much bigger than a Transit. I think it's quite a bit lighter. You can see the size on my hand. It's not that much bigger. And it does have a couple of really cool, interesting features. The first is just the unit itself will come with a Cat 4 modem. It comes with a 2x2 MIMO setup, built-in Wi-Fi, and if I turn it over, on the back, it has a switch kind of thing. So you can put in multiple Ethernet cables directly with this unit, compared to the Transit that typically only has one WAN port for inbound connections and then one LAN port for outbound. So you can only have one kind of hardwire in. This gives you 4 LAN ports and 1 WAN port, so that's kind of nice. It does also have GPS, so if you did want to track it on some unit like that for a boat or something, you could do that too. It's a really great option. Now, actually the thing I think we most find intriguing about this unit is on the back, again, you can swap in an additional modem. So it comes with a Cat 4 that's built into it, and that has really good 3G bands, but it's going to be pretty slow overall. But with the expandable modem, you can swap in a unit similar to this one, and you can put in 3 different choices. So you can put in a Cat 6 modem, a Cat 12 modem, or the new Cat 18 modem. Depending on which one you get, the antenna options on this modem may change. This, for example, is the Cat 6, and the Cat 12 will look almost identical. The Cat 18 has it's a 4x4 MIMO modem, so you'll have 4 antennas here. We really actually prefer probably the Cat 12 modem, just for the sake of you only need a 2x2 antenna to support that, so that makes it a lot easier. It's very stable. The Cat 18s are great. You just have to keep in mind that those four antenna ports are required, so it changes the way you can connect that. And the last final thing I think that's worth pointing out with this unit is that it has USB tethering. So you can take your phone, you can plug it in, and you can use this tethering port basically. You can use it with a phone or a hotspot, but you can connect another inbound WAN source through the USB. Now, overall, I don't think this is the best way to go for performance. You can't necessarily boost the antenna off of your phone. At best, you could use a booster if you needed to increase the service, but it is a nice backup option if for some reason you are running limited data plans or whatever reason and you needed a backup option. Having this USB tethering is a nice feature to have. Okay, so what the Balance 20 comes with out of the box is it's going to have the unit itself. It's going to come with these 4 antennas. 2 are going to be for your cellular and 2 are going to be for Wi-Fi. And then it comes with a GPS antenna and, of course, an AC power unit. Now, quick thing on the antennas, and then I'm going to talk about power. So this does only come with these 4 antennas, and this works great if you're just going to use the Balance 20 itself. It comes with everything you need for just that unit. If you are going to use an expandable modem on top of that, these do not come with extra antennas. They don't come with the stock antennas. I think that's actually okay. You can do 2 things. You can either choose to not use the Cat 4 at all, which is what a lot of people are doing, and then just use these additional antennas in the modem that you've selected. Again, you'll have 2 for the Cat 6 and 12. You'll need 2 more if you're going to do the Cat 18, and those are all listed in the product description if you want to buy more. Or you can buy 2 more of these, so you'd have 4 cell antennas and 2 Wi-Fi antennas built on here. Your other option is to go with either a roof mount antenna, something like a 7-in-1 would work, since you're going to have four cell, 2 Wi-Fi, and 1 GPS. Or you could go with multiple antennas. If this is going into your house, a really great option would be an X-pole antenna. That's a directional 2x2 MIMO. So that antenna would plug just into your expandable modem here and fit really nicely. Now if we talk about power, like I said, this is going to come with an AC power adapter. So it's going to go right into the wall, and then it's going to have your your DC power cable here. So technically, this is converting AC into DC in this black box, and then it's sending DC through the power cable to this unit. Now an option here, if you wanted to convert this to a 12-volt system completely, is to add onto your cart our 10-foot DC power cable with this particular adapter. Now I'm going to link all of that below, so if you wanted to add that to your cart, you can do this power cable with this adapter. That adapter will fit right into the PepWave itself, and you can run this completely off of DC power. So that is an alternative option if you want to go that route. Okay, so now we're going to do a quick setup video for this particular modem. I'm going to actually set up both the Cat4 and the Cat6 expandable modem option. But if you're going to do this with a Cat12 or a Cat18, the steps will be pretty similar. The only time this might change is depending on the antenna you're going to go with. So let's get that started. Now we're going to start the setup process of the Balance 20. The setup process is fairly similar to any of the other units and any of the other setup videos on our channel if you've watched them. There are a couple of different things around this unit that I just wanted to review. First thing I like doing is setting up the SIM cards. I like doing that. It's easier without all the antennas attached. So I'm going to turn the unit over. I'm going to twist off this bottom piece. All right, and then now these work a little differently as they are set up to be like little doors. So you have to pull open that piece. Like even if you turn it upside down, they'll open up. And they're just like a little flap. And it'll even tell you which way the card needs to go when you close it. There's a little picture. It's pretty small. But it's going to be right kind of in that middle of the black bar, and it shows you the direction of the SIM card with that SIM card tag. See, the tag is on the top there. So in my case, it needs to go just like this on slot A, and slot B is lined up identical. So they both will kind of go this position. It's pretty easy to get them in. You flip this open. You're actually going to put the SIM card in the little door. So the SIM card will slide right into the door. You don't even really need to have the door open all the way. It will grab onto the SIM, so if it's a little hard to push in, that's just because it's holding traction down. And then you're going to slide that, you're going to push that down, and then the silver bar will move, and the silver bar locks it into place. And that way, now when I turn it over, see, nothing comes out. So just make sure that's nice and solid. Nothing is hard to push. Nothing will require a lot of force. So if it does, you probably have it in wrong, and then you can check your direction to make sure that SIM direction is in the right place. And here's an up close of just what that SIM card looks like in place. So you can see which way the notch is going and stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to put my SIM cover back on. We'll screw that back in place. And now we're going to put in the expandable modem with another SIM card. The expandable modem is almost just like the BR1 or the transit line. You have a small little SIM. I think they call them dust covers, technically. That will pop out, and then you can put your SIM in here. Now, I'm choosing to use more of a backup SIM in the actual PepWave unit, the Balance 20 itself. And my primary SIM is going to go into this expandable modem. And that's because this modem is actually faster. This is that Cat6 modem versus that Cat4 in here. So I'm going to put my unlimited AT&T plan in here. Now, it tells you in the picture which way the SIM will go. So you just kind of line it up with the picture like this, and then you're going to put it in that slot. The metal part, the chip part of the SIM, always faces the other slot. So if it's in A, it goes down. B, it goes up. Yeah, and also you will feel it click in place. It never goes all the way in. It shouldn't quite be flush. It should stick out a little bit. And that way when you push on it again, it will kind of push back. It'll spring load back out. Sometimes I have found that they are kind of pre-sprung in. So that first time you put the card in, it might not push in, but then you'll kind of get a good feel of that. Okay, and now we're going to actually just put this expandable modem right inside the Balance 20. It's got 4 little screws. All right, and then the metal cover plate will fall right out. Now we're going to take the modem, we're going to make sure it's faced the right way. The little chip part on the modem will actually go down, everything will be facing upright. So it should be pretty easy. And then that slides right in place, and we can screw all of the screws back in. Okay, so now we have that expandable modem put in. We have the 2 Wi-Fi on the side, the 2 additional cell, the 1 GPS, and then on the front are the first 2 additional cell antennas there. At this point, it depends all on the antenna you're going to go with. If you're going to go with the original ones that are these little paddle ones, you can start putting those on. Or if you're going to do something more like a roof mount, this is the Nemo 5-in-1, you could do that too. One thing I really like about the mobile mark antennas for this particular use case is each antenna is completely separate, each antenna cable. So you don't have to worry about how far it stretches over the modem. You can very easily run each line to the right spot. The pointing ones will struggle a bit here because they have a main wired chase or cover that goes over all the wires, and then you only have about 9 inches or 6 inches or so at the end, and that's not going to be enough to go to each of these. It's not a big deal. You can easily cut that to get it to be longer, but the mobile mark might have one step up here just because all the antennas are separate. Now at this point, you just find the label of the antenna. So this one is a 2.4 5 gigahertz. It also has Wi-Fi on the top, so that would help. You would just know that you're going to go plug this right into the Wi-Fi port. So you can go and do that. Now for this video, I'm actually just going to use the stock antennas. It's just going to be easier for the video's sake. But that would be how you put on, no matter what antenna you've got that. If you're going to go with these stock antennas, they are also labeled. For example, right at the top here, this says 2.45 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so we know that goes into the Wi-Fi port. All right, we have all of our antennas connected. Now, one quick note here, it is important you connect every antenna. The only one that you can leave out is your GPS antenna. It won't necessarily work properly if you don't have all the antennas connected. We're going to plug in power to the unit and let it boot up. Okay, on boot of the unit, you'll see the switch kind of in the back dance with its lights. And on the front, you'll see the status light, cellular light, and Wi-Fi light. I know these cards are active because they've been in my transit and I've had them for a while. But if you don't see those get activated, it could be an issue with your SIM card. And the next step is actually going to be us going to a computer. So I'm going to move to that step and we'll show you how that works. Now it did take about 2 minutes, but I got a green status light and then a green cell light, which means everything is connected. Now I'm going to connect to the default Wi-Fi that the Pepwave gives off. I'll go over how to change it, but we're going to connect to the default one first, and that will get us into the unit and make any configuration changes we want from there. Most of the information you need is actually on the bottom of the Pepwave. That will give you the default login and all that stuff. But on the computer, if you go up to the Wi-Fi, and now I see the new Pepwave ACE3. Now yours will say a different code there, but it's basically going to be Pepwave _ and then the last 4 of your serial number. So I'm going to click there. The password is going to be the last 8 digits of your MAC address, but it's also listed under the AP password on the bottom of the unit. All right, we've hit go. We're just going to let that run for just a second. Now that we're connected to the Wi-Fi, we're going to log into the actual unit in through the admin console. The IP address of the unit you're going to type into the top once connected to the Wi-Fi is 192.168.1.1. Again, this is on the sticker in the back. Now, it's not a private connection. That's okay. It's our own private network, so you can hit Show Details. If you're in Safari, Chrome is a little different, but it'll be the same thing. If you notice, you can visit the website. Yes, I want to visit the website. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Safari. All right, and once you get there, you're going to be presented with a screen like this. The default username and password is admin. So ADMIN, and hit enter. Now, when you first log in, it does force you to change this admin password. So we're going to type in our current password, which is admin. And then you can make this something you can remember later. So I'll just type in I do encourage, now this is not the best security practice, but I do encourage you write that down maybe on a sticky note on top of the unit. This will be needed every time you want to access this page. You could also use a password manager like I have on my computer if you want to remember it that way. But this password is important, and the only way to save this password or recover it is to completely reset the unit. So this is one you want to keep. And this will bring you to the dashboard of the unit. Now, a couple of things we're going to go over here. The first is basically an overall status. So up at the top, you can see the current status of your cellular, and you see the current status of the modem. As you plug things in, that will update and change. The WAN will tell you if there's anything connected. That'd be an inbound Ethernet connection. Say this is home, and you have like a DSL modem that you're using, as well as a cellular backup. That would show like a green bar there. Then you can see we have cellular 2. This will be the primary Cat4 modem. The one that's built in is on standby. And then my primary, which is the expandable cell modem we put in, that one is connected to LTE. That is working exactly as we expect it to. And really at that point, that's all you need to do. This unit is designed to be stationary, so it's going to be different than the transit lines where you can drag and drop connections every time you go somewhere. So that is why we typically don't recommend this for mobile use, but at the same time, it is a good alternative. Now, the main thing you might want to do is go in and actually change your Wi-Fi password. To do that, that is all done in the AP tab. If you navigate over to there, you will see the current SSID, which just is the Wi-Fi network. And we typically suggest creating a new one and then deleting the original one. So you would go in and you'd create new SSID. So we can say mobile must have network. You can say always on. I wouldn't change any of these other settings. Except for the fact we want to make sure that our password, we can create a password. You can go and do research if you want something different than this existing one, but I just select the first one, personal, and I can put in my password. Again, my password manager is selecting one for me, but we're just going to go in and we'll type in our own. And then we can leave it like that. Now, for the most part, you probably don't need any other settings changes, and we don't typically recommend any. And I would just go in and hit save at this point. So now that that new one is connected here, you'll see it show up. We need to hit apply changes at the top, or nothing will actually be submitted. It's designed that way so you can make a ton of changes all at once and then submit them all. That way, if the unit has to reboot or repower, depending on the change, you would see that. So now we see the new network is there. If I go up to my my Wi-Fi on my computer, I should see that come over in a minute once my computer researches for those networks. There you go. And so now that my computer has researched its networks, you can see that new network we just created. I can go in and delete the old one, move over to the new one, and I'm all set. I hope you guys found this video helpful for the PepWave Balance 20X. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, but we are actually and usually a little bit faster if you can get to us on chat off of our website at mobilemusthave.com or send us an email at info@mobilemusthave.com if you have any questions. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.